Hey guys, how's it going? Slacker here. It's not going to be one of my regular type of videos. This is actually going to be me trying to address one of my favorite YouTubers because I think he is going off the rails and he's going to end up exactly like Crowd and T did if he doesn't like take a second to take a step back and look at what the heck is going on, because he is literally acting like an SJW right now. Like, he is blaming all the criticism he is getting lately as this is just the alt-right, this is just the alt-right trolls, and he literally just put out this video where he's like, oh, look at these comments where these guys are pretending to be my subscribers. These alt-right trolls are pretending to be my subscribers, give me criticism, and he's like literally forming a bubble or like a echo chamber around himself, and this is like really sad to watch him go down this path. And I hope that you see this, Sargon. This is a warning. This is me trying to point out the similarities that you are showing right now with all the SJWs that you used to like go after, and I guess you still do, but it's like projection or whatever. It's like you're kind of doing the exact same thing that you're criticizing the SJWs of doing. He's being so condescending to the point where he can't even hear the opponent's actual argument. And it's like, it's the same thing as what the left does, is where they stoop to the level of the straw man that they think is real rather than what their opponent actually is. This is like the most insane thing. This is the most insane part of Sargon's video. He literally watches a clip of himself explaining the exact position of the alt-right, and then he like strawmans them still. He like still strawmans them even after he has. And this guy is like trying to obviously like be like, Sargon, look at what you said. This is the same thing that the alt-right is saying. And he's like, no, that's not what the alt-right is saying. That's not what the alt-right is saying at all. Let me tell you what the alt-right is saying. Let me give you my strawman. And did I mention that they're the SJWs?
Even using the term race when explaining why.
I don't disagree that there are differences biologically between groups of people and that these are evolutionary. And I don't disagree with that. I mean, it couldn't, as far as I can tell, it couldn't be any other way. If groups of people are kept separate in different environments for tens of thousands of years, then you would expect to see some differences between them, which is why the races look different.
But then
So let me just be clear there. I'm talking genetically, obviously.
Oh, but the alt-right is not talking genetically, guys. The alt-right is just talking about skin color.
I'm talking genetically, obviously, and I don't think that that's a controversial position to have. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's why we can tell the difference between myself as someone who is mostly Welsh and English and rocking Mr. E, who is Greek.
December of the same.
Yeah.
He said that the white race is.
Where's the disagreement, Sargoy?
Right. Now this is an important distinction, because the white race is a social construct. The phrase, the white race, is not a description of the genetic makeup of white people are being defined in the white race as people who have light skin. And that's it. That is the ideological construct that is the white race. It's a silly classification. It makes a lot more sense, in my opinion, to use ethnicity.
I think that is the position of all the alt-right. They want Ireland to be Irish. They want England to be English. They're using ethnicities. It's white American is an ethnicity. We've been melting in the cultural melting pot for 400 years together, banging each other. So it formed this new thing, Sargon, this new ethnicity, if you can imagine. But for some reason, that's not allowed. For some reason.
My point, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what you're saying, the white race, isn't really anything.
Oh, come on. See, now this is where we get to... There is no us. There is an us.
Do I have to say that the white race is a social construct?
I hope not.
It kind of is, though, isn't it?
Well,
Look at that smug smile. And why? Why is he smug right now? He literally said, "Don't make me say that race is a the white race is a social construct." Like, he knows that that's a cringy meme, and he's like, "Don't make me say it." And he's like, has a smug smile now, like, he made me say what the SJWs believe. It's like, okay, so you're in agreement with the SJWs, Sargon. Why are you smug about that?
What, red squirrels are they a social construct? Everything's a social construct, you know, in terms of our perceptions.
But I mean, literally though, like the white race. I mean, there are lots of different kinds of white people.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that there is no such thing as the white race. And then this gets us to the rainbow thing.
Thank
You
you.
know, there's no such thing as the black race, right?
Oh no! Oh, I don't think black people like that very much. You told them that.
Sex is a biological reality. Gender is a social construct. Gender roles are because they're a consequence of biological sex and the necessity for
That is a social justice warrior talking point. That is literally a social justice warrior talking point, that biological sex has nothing to do with gender. Gender is not shorthand for gender roles. Gender and gender roles are two different things, Sargon. You're literally buying into the SJW propaganda all of a sudden. Like, I do not understand what is going on. I do not understand what is going on. Why you're turning into an SJW just like crowd, Sargon.
people's environment ends up getting integrated into the culture, and it's also heavily influenced by events as well. And ideas. To say that religion doesn't shape culture is ludicrous to me.
Who said that? Who the fuck? Nobody. It's a straw man. Who said that religion does not influence culture? Have you ever considered that maybe religion is a genetic advantage? That maybe religious people are more successful than non-religious people? Have you ever considered that, Sargon? That maybe that's why 93% of the people on Earth are religious, because those who didn't are dead with no descendants now, Sargon. This is how evolution works. It's like he does not believe in evolution or something.
Biologically innate, a certain kind of religion. Otherwise, how did the West ever become Christianized, and how did the East ever...
How did the West become Christianized? You tell me, Sargon. How did North America go from being whatever Native American religion to Christianity? How did that happen? Was it because of white people moved here? Tell me, Sargon, how did Islam reach Turkey? Is it because the idea moved there, or is it because Muslims moved to Turkey and took it over? Is that which one happened? It's because the Muslims moved there, Sargon. It's like a pagan religion or something at this point. What Sargon is believing, like culture is like a pagan god or something. It's like this mysterious force. It's just like a mystical force guiding human beings somehow. As if human beings don't create culture, as if the culture creates the human beings. It's the other way around, Sargon. Humans create culture.
And B, I want to know what the alt-right answer is.
No, well, now you know.
Tell me how you think our genes affect our culture. I think that the genes are a much more base...
I like how he thinks that, like, only the alt-right thinks that race exists, by the way. It's only the alt-right trolls who would say something as ludicrous that race exists.
Again, it's just too complicated to say, well, it's because of your genes. It's not. It's really different. It's really interesting. And if that was the case, it wouldn't change over time. Have 83% the same genes as the Ice Age settlers who came here, and yet our culture is radically different.
He says that as if it's a point for him. And he just said that we have 17% different genetics now. And we're radically different. So that shows me that our genetics are changing as our culture changes. Like, how is this a point against your straw man? I mean, I can't forget that he's arguing against the straw man here. And he's losing an argument against a straw man. It's insane. It's insane.
Absolutely wildly different. So the idea that you can say that race and culture are just intertwined and there's no evolution there's no changing over time, that these things are just direct.
He just said that it's 17% different. There's no changing. What is he talking about? What? I honestly am so confused right now.
Directly connected. Culture is in your head. It's not necessarily in your genes.
It is at least. He has to at least admit, even in his like way of looking at this, he has to at least admit that it's partially influential. Otherwise, why did these cultures develop different ideas? Why? What is your explanation? He's the one who defined race as being affected by your environment.
In the Warski livestream, Sargon did a good job exposing the fact that Richard Spencer has turned the alt-right into an authoritarian movement that will bitch and moan about neo-Marxists using power to repress them, as he then goes on to argue that the law is an articulation of power that doesn't constrain the state.
Alright, well, let's listen to Sargon say that he agrees.
Completely agree. And
wow, shocking that he completely agrees with this guy kissing his ass. What? I'm shocked. I completely disagree with this guy's point right here. That Sargon basically tricked Richard Spencer and was like strawmanning him with the anti-freedom of speech thing. He literally framed the question: if propaganda was coming from an outside country, to influence the people inside the country negatively, would you try and put a stop to that? And that's not restricting free speech. So think about the United States right now. The whole Russian thing is like, Russia's not allowed to influence our government. They don't have the freedom of speech rights that the Constitution gives the United States citizens. Is the United States a aristocracy monarchy with peasants, Sargon? No. So stop conflating the two.
that's in fact the reason why I came away from the Richard Spencer debate not feeling like I'd lost at all.
You lost.
Spencer to admit that he was for North Korean style censorship and some sort of racial aristocracy.
Yeah, I believe he literally said, I want North Korean style censorship. You don't need to act like this, dude. You don't. No, you're strawmanning Richard Spencer. You don't need to strawman him. He says enough dumb stuff on his own, okay? You need to debate someone like Mike Enoch. Richard Spencer is literally the lowest hanging fruit in the alt-right. Congratulations. You have to strawman the lowest hanging fruit in order to win the debate. Congratulations, Sargon.